Yeah, we'll start by 6:10. Please wait. Okay, guys. Everyone, am I audible? So let's begin the session now, everyone. Okay, guys. So yesterday we have already discussed the Azure data engineering. What is it? How does it works? Okay. Just let me brush it up and we'll move further. Azure data engineering. Okay, guys. So as you know that the Azure data engineering is nothing but it is the bunch of cloud services. It is a bunch of cloud services. Okay, guys. It's a bunch of cloud services wherein using this cloud service, we can perform the following task here. What is that? The first one is to called as what? Data migration. And then we have the data integration, data summarization, and the data visualization. Okay. So these are all the tasks we can perform it by using the Azure data engineering. So yesterday we have already discussed what is data migration, what is data integration. Okay, guys. And what is data integration, data migration, and the data visualization. Already we have discussed it. Okay. So as you know that the Azure data engineering is a bunch of the following cloud services we have it. So we can say the first one is the ADF, that is the Azure Data Factory, and we have the ADB, which stands for Azure Databricks, and the next one we have it as the Synapse, and then after the Synapse we have the Azure Fabric. Okay, then we also have the service which is called as a machine learning, and then we have also the service called OpenAI. Okay, so these are all the services we have it in the Azure data engineering. So today we'll start with, guys, data. What is data basically? So when we talk about the data, what exactly is the source of data, guys? Data means what, everyone? Data means what? Information. So data is nothing but what? Information. What's that? Data is nothing but the information, guys. Yeah. So what is the source of information, guys, everyone? What is the source of information? Yes, guys, I want a reply here. What is the source of information? So source of information is that from where we receive the data. So data is nothing but information. The whole thing, the whole business is running on the data itself, guys. Okay, without the data, we don't have anything. So what is that we have it? So without the data, we don't have anything. So guys, data is nothing but what? Information. We can say what's that, guys? Information. The data is nothing but what? We can say it is the information. Okay. So information, from where we get it? Ultimately, we get the information from the business, guys. Okay. Business. So what type of business again here? So we can say, guys, everyone, we can get the data from various type of business, such as we can say, guys, okay, social networking sites. Social networking sites. So the social networking sites is a very major source of data from where we can expect the data. Okay. What are the social networking sites, guys? We have it. We can say we have the following social networking sites, guys. What is that? The first one is called as what? Yes, guys. The first one, what is that we have it? The first one we can say it, guys, Facebook, FB, you can say. It is the major source of getting the data. Then you have what's that? X, which we call it as a Twitter. Okay. Previously we used to call it as a Twitter. Now it is X. Okay. And then we have what's that? Insta. That is called as Instagram. Okay, guys. And then you have the LinkedIn. Okay. Then we have the after the LinkedIn. What is the next thing we have it, guys? Everyone. So Facebook, Twitter, Insta, LinkedIn, WhatsApp. Okay. WhatsApp. These are all the, okay, guys, these are all the sources of getting the data. So when we talk about this source of data, guys, this source of data generates the massive amount of data. Okay, we can say what's that? Massive amount of data. They generate what's that? Massive amount of data. So what massive amount of data means? What? The huge volume of the data. Okay, guys, we receive the data from what's that? The huge volume of the data. We always receive the data in what? The huge volume of the data. Apart from this, what is the other source from where we can get the data, guys? Data is nothing but what? All of us know that data is nothing but information, guys. From where do we get the information? Information ultimately we get it from the business only. We all are dependent on the business to get the data. So what is it? Another one, we can get the data from the banking applications. So what do you mean by banking applications, guys? The applications which are used at the banking sector level. The application which are used at the banking sector is called as what? Banking applications. Okay. We receive the data from the banking application, and these banking applications generates the massive amount of data, which is also called as what? Huge volume of the data. Huge volume of data. Okay, guys. So we can also say we can get the data from the that is nothing but banking applications or the huge volume of the data. And the next one is what's that? The data or the information. Data is also called as what? Information. So we can get the information from, yes, guys, we can get the information from the very important source, which is right now considered as one of the, okay, major source of getting the data. That is called as what? Live streaming data. What is called as what? Live streaming data, guys. Live streaming data. So what do you mean by live streaming data, guys? Where we receive the data on the continuous basis. We receive the data on what? Continuous basis, guys. There will be no that is nothing but there will be no stoppage in the data receiving. Always, it's a continuous process where we receive the data. So what is the source from where we receive the data on a continuous basis, guys? Such as for which I can say that best example is the stock market. Stock market. Stock market is what? Where we receive the data continuously, where the values or the figures keep on changing very constantly. Where the values and okay everything keeps on changing towards it very drastically, guys. Very drastically we get the data. Okay. So there is no keep on changing. So this is a continuous process where we receive the data. And this data is also referred as what is that, guys? The other name for all this data is called was big data. It is called as what? Big data. Big data. So what is big data? So whether you say massive amount of data, whether you say huge volume of the data, or the big data, one are the same, guys. It is one of the same. And what are the other source from where we can get the data, guys? Data or the information. Data or the information, everyone. Data or the information. We get it from where? Data or the information, guys. We get it from where? We can say we can get the data or the information from, okay, human generated data, from the source called what? Human generated data, or machine and the machine generated data. That means the data which is, okay, the data which is generated by the human, that is you and me, the data whatever we created, okay, such kind of data is called as what? Human generated data. And what do you mean machine generated data, guys? That is the machine which generates the data, such as you have what's it, guys? Such as you have a scanner. Scanner is a machine, am I right? Which reads massive amount of data. So the data which is generated by the human and the machine also falls under the category called what is that, guys? Yes, also falls under the category called what? Big data. You can also get the data from the, that is nothing but this one. And the next one, the another source from where we receive the data, guys, we can say, guys, data or the information we can get it from the data or the information we can get from the IoT sensors. IoT sensors. So IoT sensors are those which is considered as the another, okay, that is source of getting the data. IoT sensors. So what is IoT sensors basically? Now, guys, whenever you travel, okay, whenever you travel, okay, let me just tell you what type of data it. Basically, the IoT sensors measures wind speed. Okay, then it can also measure temperature, gas, pressure, etc. All these are the things which does by the IoT sensors. So whenever we travel, okay, guys, whenever you go anywhere, or travel somewhere. So at the starting, guys, at the starting of every village or city, you can say some big towers. What is the towers? Basically a type of a fans, a type of a table fans, guys. A fixed, okay, a fixed, a type of what? Table fan, which will be rotating very slowly, which will be rotating very slowly. So what does that fan does? There is a table fan of structure, you can find it very big. Okay, towers, which you call it as what? Towers. So what does the towers actually does? It measures the wind speed. Am I right? It measures the wind speed, and those towers are connected to the system, where whatever the data they capture it, the data will be transferred to the system. So such kind of things all comes under what's it guys? Sensors. It is called as what? IoT sensors. So these are all, guys, these are all the, guys, these are all the, okay, these are all the sources from where we can expect the data. Okay, that is called as what? Big data. That is called as what? Big data. So what do you mean by, guys, everyone, what do you mean by big data, guys? Big data is nothing but what? Massive amount of data. Okay, big data is nothing but what? Massive amount of data is called as what? Big data, guys. Okay, massive amount of data is called as what? Big data. Massive amount of data is called as what? Big data. So big data is what? Massive volume of the data is called as what? Big data. There is a huge volume. Okay, guys, the huge volume of the data. So here, as a data engineer, guys, as a data engineer, we'll be dealing with the big data always. Okay, big data always. So we can say the big data is the data which is, okay, or which we can, okay, which always we get it from the, yes, guys, big data is the data which always we get it from, what is that, guys? Always we get it from, what is that? Various sources of generating the data, such as we can say social networking sites, banking applications, live streaming process, human generated and machine generated data, IoT sensors, and many more are there, guys, many more from where we can expect the data always, from where we can expect the data always, guys. Whereas the big data is classified here into three categories for user understanding. For user understanding, the big data is classified into three categories, guys. What is that? What are those? We can say the first one, we can say, guys, structured data. We can say, what's that? Structured data. And the next one is what? Semi-structured data. Semi-structured data. We can say, what's that? Structured data, semi-structured data, and the next one is what? Unstructured data, guys. So these are the three categories of data we can get it always. What is that? The big data is classified, whatever the type of big data we have it, guys, it is classified into three categories of data. What's that? Structured data, semi-structured data, and as well as the unstructured data, guys. Okay, so basically what is it? We have it, the whole business of data engineering, that is called as what? You can say it is Azure data engineering, or you can say, guys, it is a Google data engineering, or you can go it for the Amazon data engineering, AWS. Okay, data engineering, you go for any data engineering service. You go for what? Any data engineering service. The major sources of data will be almost all same for everyone. You can receive the data from what? Social networking sites, banking applications, live streaming process, human generated data, IoT sensors, etc. And this data is basically classified into, what's it? This data is classified into what? Three categories. What is it? Structured data, semi-structured data, and as well as the unstructured data, guys. So now let us discuss what is a structured data. Structured data is a data, guys. The structured data is a data which you can always, okay, it's a user-friendly data, guys. It is a user-friendly data. Means what? Just by looking into the data, you can say, guys, just by looking into the data, you can say always, guys, just by looking into the data, okay, just by looking into the data, uh, just by looking into the data, guys, just by looking into the data, you can understand what type of data it is basically. So for which we can say, guys, a data in the form of a table. That is in the form of what? A table means what? The data in the form of what? Rows and columns. Okay. The data in the form of what's that, guys? Rows and columns is called as what? Is, guys, structured data. It is called as what? Structured data. The data in the form of what? Table. That is in the form of rows and columns. That is in the form of what? Rows and columns. That is in the form of what? Rows and columns. The data in the form of what? Rows and columns. Yes, please tell me. Somebody want to say something? Please. Yes, guys. You want to say something? Somebody? Okay. So now, guys, what is actually the rows and columns? I'll give you example here, such as you have a name. This is a table, guys. This is a table, you can say. Everyone, this is a table where the table name is what, guys, everyone? The table name is the following. What's the name of the table? You have what's it? Employees. That means this data is related to the employees. So, guys, here I can say the heading of the table. The name of the table is employees, where you have the name of the table, that is name of the employee, and then I have the ID number of the employee. Then we have the salary, and then we have the job, guys, everyone. Okay, name, ID, salary, job. Okay, name, ID, salary, job, and department number. Name, ID, salary, job, and department number. These are all the, guys, these are all the columns we have it. These are called as what? These we call it as what, guys, everyone? Columns. Columns. These are called, we call it as what? Columns. And what about the rows? Rows are nothing but the data is called as rows, which we also call it as what? Data rows. Guys, I'm giving the name here. Under the name, I'm giving the first row Alan, and the ID number is something like this. And the salary, let us say it as what? 40,000 here. Okay. And the job, you have it here, guys, everyone. And the job, I can say the job as what? Everyone, software engineer, SC, and the department number is 10. Okay. Then the next row, I can say, guys, can you see here? Bobby, 50,000, SSC, department number is 20. And then you have the third row. What's it? I can say Cal. And now I can say, guys, EMGR, that is called as manager, department number is 30. Can you see here, guys, everyone? So this is nothing but basically the rows. These all are called as what, guys? These are called as what? Rows. And now together these rows and columns, together these rows and columns is called as what, guys? Together these rows and columns is called as what? Table. Is called as what? Table. So if you just look into the data, you can understand and say what type of data and the data is related to what. Am I right or not? Hence, this is called as what? Structured data. Hence, this is called as what, guys, everyone? Structured data. Hence, this is called as what? Structured data. Hence, this is called as what? Everyone, structured data. Hence, this is called as what? Structured data, guys. Hence, this is called as what? Structured data. Hence, this is called as what? Structured data. So, always this kind of a data is called as what? Structured data. It is called as what? Structured data, guys. Okay. So, now the next one, guys. What is the next thing you have it? Semi-structured data. So, what do you understand if I'm using the word called semi-structured, guys? Everyone, okay? What do you understand if I'm using the word called semi-structured, guys? Semi-structure is nothing but the data which is not fully structured. Okay, the data which is not fully structured. The data which is not fully structured, guys, but still, guys, the data which is not fully structured, but still the user can understand it. But still the user can understand. Such kind of a data is called as what, guys, everyone? Such kind of a data is called as what? Semi-structured data. Such kind of a data is called as what? Semi-structured data. So when you talk about the semi-structured data, under the semi-structured data, what are the things we have it? Let us try to understand it here. Okay. So for this, can you see? I can say semi-structured data, the data which is recorded in the form of what? JSON files, or the data which is recorded in the form of what? XML files, and the data which is recorded in the HTML files. All this is called as what, guys? All this is called as what? Semi-structured data. That means this data, the user can understand it up to extent, but not fully. Okay. This is called as what? Semi-structured data. That means we can also get the data from these sources of data, guys. From these sources of the data, we can get the data in the form of structured and the semi-structured. So as a data engineer, it is our responsibility to handle this data. That is nothing but you should be aware, guys. You should be aware. You should be aware how actually the data is. That means whether the data is a structured or the semi-structured or the unstructured. You will be aware of this, guys. Okay. You will be aware. You should be aware of it actually. You should be aware of it. So now when we talk about the semi-structured data. So guys, actually let us see what is a semi-structured data and how does it looks like. Okay, let's try to understand this. So when we talk about the semi-structured data, and now I'm using the semi-structure as what? JSON, guys, everyone. JSON. So what do you mean by JSON, guys? JSON stands for everyone. JSON stands for what, everyone? JSON stands for, any idea about the JSON, guys? JSON stands for what, everyone? Please respond, guys. I want a reply from all of you. If you have the section interactive, it would be interested for you and as well as for me. So guys, tell me, what is a JSON file? JSON stands for what, everyone? JSON stands for what? JavaScript object notation file. JSON stands for what? JavaScript object notation file. JavaScript object notation file. You have what's it? JavaScript object notation file. Okay. You have what's it? JavaScript object notation file. That means here you can see that data is recorded in the form of what? JSON files. And the data in the JSON is recorded in the form of what is it, guys? Key value pair. Key value pair. So what do you mean by key value pair, guys? Everyone. Key value pair. This is the key value pair. So what do you mean by key? What do you mean by value? And what do you mean by pair? Let us try to understand this. The data in the JSON is always recorded in the form of a key value pair. So I'll explain you the JSON here. The always the data in the JSON is recorded in the form of what? Curly braces. These are called as what, guys? Everyone, these are called as what? Curly braces. These are called as what? Braces. That means brackets. Curly brackets. The data is always recorded in the form of what? Curly brackets, guys. Not the, that is nothing but plain brackets. The data will be recorded in what? Curly braces. The data is always recorded in the form of what? Curly braces, where this is called as an opening brace and this is called as a closing brace. Between these two, you will have the data. So now, guys, what in my key? First of all, key is nothing but the column names are called as keys, guys. What are the column names? You have it, guys, everyone. You have the column name as what? Name, ID, salary, job, and department number. These are the columns. So now, guys, what I will do, I'll just put it up here. Everyone, I'll put it up here. Now, first of all, let's try to fill it up here. First one, what is that? Name column is there. So as always, the key, the column name is called as key here, and the keys are always placed under the double quotes. Okay, this is the first quote, double quotes here. Okay, and the data is delimited with a colon here. So colon. Now tell me, what is the name? You have it, guys, everyone. The name is what? Alan, everyone. Here you have the name as what? Alan. The name is what? Alan. You have it. So I can see, guys, Alan. Alan is a character or numeric? Guys, everyone. Alan is a character or numeric data?
Character.
Yes, exactly. It is a character. So once it's a character, the data will be placed under the quotes here always. So now just write it down. ALN, ALLEN. Okay, guys, that's it. Now the first row is written. Now can you see here? The key and value together. This is the key and this is called as a value of the key. The key and value together is called as what? Key value. It is called as what, guys? Key value. Okay, guys. It is called as what? Key value. It is called as what? Key value. Then after this, can you see here? Use a comma, come to the next line. So what's the next line you have it, guys? The next is what is it you have it? ID number. So guys, let's try to make it off here. ID number. So what is ID number? Can you see here? I'm putting it again. Whether it's a character data or the numeric data, we have in the column, but the columns that is called as the keys should always be placed under the quotes here, guys. So I'm using ID colon. What is it? ID is the colon here. ID is the colon. Besides that, you need to write the data. What's that? You have it 332. What's the value? 332 is the value. So now, guys, the second row is written here. And as this is a numeric data, so the data is not placed under the quotes here. So always make sure that if you have a string data, string means character. If you have a string character, then the string character will be placed under the quotes here. But if you have a numeric, the data will be written normally like this. That's it now. Another, the next one line, guys. You have the salary. So salary is what? Generally, the salary is a, guys, integer only. Na? That means a numeric only. So here I can say, guys, numeric salary. And now here you have it, guys, everyone. Sorry. So quotes here. And then write it down the data. What's the salary for the alien? 40,000 is the salary. Okay. 40,000 is the salary. Again, the comma. Again, the comma, you have to use it, guys. After this comma, can you see here? After this comma, everyone, after this comma, again, you have what's it, guys? After the comma, we will write the next. What is it? You have it, job. Job. So job is what? So job is the another column you have it. Where can you see here? Where you have to put the data under the quotes. And now, guys, can you see here? The job. What is the job you have it? The job is what? SE. That is called as what? Software engineer. So I'm just placing it here. It's a software engineer. Means what? This is basically a, guys, everyone, this is basically a, this is basically what's it? You have it as what? This is a character data. Again, you have what's a department number. So what's the department number you have it? Department number is 10. 10 means what, guys? It's a numeric. So leave it as it is. So now this one, the entire one is called as what, guys? This one, entire one is called as what? JSON document or document, or we can also say it as an item. We can also call it as what? JSON item. We can also call it as what? JSON item, guys. This is how we can say, guys, it is a semi-structured. So just look into the data and now you can decide it and say what type of data it is. It is a semi-structured, and now semi-structured data, and it is in the form of what? JSON. So if you look into this data, guys, you can understand and say what type of data it is. Am I right? So this is called as a semi-structured data, guys. Okay. So whereas the next one, what is it you have it, guys? Unstructured means what? Unstructured means what? No structure for the data actually. Basically, you can say no structure for the data is called as what? Unstructured. So what do you mean no structure, guys? That means if you go to your mobile phone, everyone, and check in your mobile phone, you will always find an unstructured data. You will always find an unstructured data in your mobile phone. What is it? What is that, guys? Everyone, can you tell me what is the unstructured data you will have it in your mobile phone, everyone? Yeah, which does not has any kind of a structure. Please, everyone. Yes, guys, you can say it here as a photos. The photos which you have it in your mobile phone, guys, the photos which you have it in your mobile phone is unstructured, no proper structures. And then you have what? Videos. And what's it? Again, you have it chat history. Does the chat history has any structure? No. And then even you have voice notes. So these are all called as what? Unstructured data. That means which does not has any structure. Okay, guys. So this is called as what? Unstructured data. But actually, when you deal in the real-time projects, mostly the structured data, you will get only 20%, guys. You'll get how much percent? 20% of the data only you will get it as what? Structured format. Whereas the semi-structured and the, guys, whereas the semi-structured and the structure, that is unstructured, you will get is how much data? 80% of the data you will get it semi-structured and the unstructured data. Semi-structured and the unstructured data, you will get it what? 80% of the data you will get it in this one. Okay. So here you can say, guys, 80%. That means 80% of the data in semi-structured and unstructured. 20% of the data you get it in what? Structured format. As a data engineer, how do we deal with this data? That is, okay, how do we deal with this data? That is all about the data engineering. That is the all about the data engineering. So what you will do as a data engineer, guys, you will go with the reverse process. Unstructured data, you will convert it to semi-structured. So you will convert it to what, guys? Semi-structured. Everyone, semi-structured. And semi-structured, later you will convert it to what? Structure here. Okay. So you can say what, guys? These are all the, everyone, these are all the kind of thing you have. It's unstructured to semi-structured, semi-structured to the structured data. So these are all the job is of a data engineer. So how do we deal and how do we handle this data? That is all about the data engineering projects mostly, guys. Okay, so this is the one you have it, guys. So what is it you have it, everyone? I'll just brush it up once. So Azure data engineering is nothing but the bunch of cloud services which you have the following: data migration jobs, data integration job, data summarization, and data visualization. And the data engineering is the collection of the following. What's that you have it? ADF, ADB, Synapse, Fabric, machine learning, and OpenAI. Then you what's it, guys? Data is nothing but the information. Information we get it from the business, and these are all the businesses we have it. Whether you go with the social networking sites, banking applications, live streaming process, human generated or machine generated, IoT sensors, etc. And whereas, guys, this all sources generates the data. That data is called as what? Big data in short. Big data means what? Massive amount of data. And big data is classified into three categories. What's that? Structured data, semi-structured data, and as well as the unstructured data, guys. Semi-structured, structured, and the unstructured data. So as a data engineer, what is our job? Our job is to convert this, can you say, unstructured data to the semi-structured, and semi-structured to the structure ultimately based on the requirement. It's not fixed that you will have to do only this job. This is a part of a data engineering job. This is a part of what? Data engineering job. How do we deal if you have such kind of a data? Okay, all this we are going to see it here as a part of this. So as you know that this Azure data engineering is a bunch of cloud services where you have the following cloud services, guys: ADF, ADB, Synapse. So ADF actually stands for what, guys, everyone? Azure Data Factory. And then you have what's it? Databricks, which is called as what? Azure Databricks, where we are going to see the Azure Databricks with a language called PySpark. With a language called what? PySpark. PySpark means what, guys? The PySpark is nothing but it is the combination of Python plus Spark. Python plus Spark together is called as a PySpark. Okay. Then we have what's that? Synapse. So we call it as what? Azure Synapse. Azure Synapse. So basically the Azure Synapse is nothing but what? This is basically the data warehouse of Azure. It is the data warehouse of Azure. So guys, what is the data warehouse of GCP, guys? Google Cloud Platform. Any idea? The data warehouse for the GCP is BigQuery, guys. And what is the data warehouse for the Amazon, guys? Redshift. Redshift is the data warehouse of the Azure Synapse. Likewise, guys, everyone can see here. Likewise, you have the following. What's it? Azure Synapse. And the full name of this is what? Azure Synapse Analytics. Azure Synapse Analytics. And then you have what's it, guys? ML stands for what? Azure Machine Learning. Machine learning means what, guys? We learn it from the machine here. Okay. We learn it from the machine. That is called as what? Machine learning. So the machine will suggest us what are the things we have to do it here. Okay. So if you give it, can you see here? What is the output of, guys? What is the output of A plus B? Okay, guys. If you give what is the output of A plus B? So this problem, this A plus B means what, guys? A plus B. If you have a A plus B, if you are using this A plus B, guys, everyone, if you are using A plus B whole square, what's that you have it? Whole square. A plus B whole square. Okay, I don't have this one, so I'm using the 2 here. Okay, it is actually A plus B whole square. So guys, what in by A plus B whole square here? If you're using A plus B whole square here, okay, so that means what? A plus B whole square is equal to what? What is the formula? This formula, we will learn it from the system. The system is going to generate all this. We can say A square plus, guys, B square, okay, plus 2AB. Am I right? So this all things we are learning from the machine here. So hence this is called as what? Machine learning, where we can design an algorithms. Algorithms means what? Suppose you have a climate condition today. Today's climate condition, you got it. The minimum temperature is 30 Celsius in some city. And now we wanted to know what is the expected temperature and the wind speed, and as well as the the temperature we may have it tomorrow. Tomorrow is a future for us now, guys. So how to predict it? Based on the present and past data, we can predict the future. Am I right or not? Based on the present and past, we can predict the future. So hence, the for prediction of the same, what is the formula we apply, what is the statistical method we apply, all this comes under the machine learning. And this machine learning is sponsored by what? Azure. So hence we call it as what? Azure machine learning. Hence we call it as what, guys? Azure machine learning. And now you have the another one, the very important and a trending one. You have what's it, guys? Okay, OpenAI. So what may OpenAI? OpenAI is nothing but basically this is, I think everyone might have idea about the Chat GPT. Chat GPT, guys. Chat GPT everyone knows, no? Chat GPT. Where can you see here? What is Chat GPT? The Chat GPT is that if you want to do any task, you just give the input to the system. The system will generate the code for you. You need not write any code here. That is the part of the AI. That means you just do the input, just you give the input. That means suppose I wanted to calculate something. So just you give the equation. They will calculate and give you the, can you see here, the things we have it. So hence this is called as what, guys? Chat GPT. So just like the Chat GPT, in Azure we have what is that, guys? Just we have what's that? Azure Open AI. Azure Open Artificial Intelligence, it means. Okay, guys. And then you have what it is? Azure Fabric. It's a very trending right now. Azure Fabric. So guys, what do you mean Azure Fabric? Azure Fabric is that which has, or we can, on the Azure Fabric, we can execute ADF, we can execute ABDB, we can execute the Synapse, everything we can have it in the, can you see here in the Synapse? There is in the Fabric, Azure Fabric, which is the newly introduced, just 6 months or 8 months back, they have introduced the Azure Fabric. Likewise, you have all this. So here in this, as a part of our course, we are going to see the Azure Fabric, OpenAI, machine learning, these three. I will give you an instances and show you the actual basic implementation, guys. Basic implementation, not in detail. Whereas the Azure Synapse and Databricks and Data Factory will take up fully as a part of our course on this. Okay. And so from tomorrow onwards, guys, we are going to start the practicals. Okay. All of you don't, those who don't have the subscription and all, you can opt to the subscription today itself. If not, tomorrow I will show you how to take the subscription as well, guys. What are the methods you have to adopt it? How can you save the cost and all this, cost optimization techniques, everything I will show you tomorrow. Okay. So guys, that's it for the day here. And rest of the things we will just make it tomorrow the same time, guys. Everyone, tomorrow the same time, that is we have it as 6 o'clock, guys. This will be a standard timing for the batch. Okay, 6 to 7 will be a standard timing for the batch. That's it, guys. If you have any questions, you can ask me, please. Tomorrow also same link. Yeah, please.
Sir, what about like, can I have a question like, the Spark and the Spark SQL and where we are using these in here? So
Spark
any
SQL
intro
is
on that?
nothing but in the Spark environment, we're using the
Mhm.
SQL commands.
Okay. And
All this,
about the PySpark and
that's a part of,
the
yeah, that's a part of Databricks.
Mhm. Okay, because any introduction, like, I mean, how and why we are using the PySpark here?
Yeah, yeah, I will tell you that one. Once the time comes, I'll tell you. Don't worry.
Okay.
Okay, guys, that's it, guys. Thank you, everyone. So, minding up the session. So, recording sessions and everything will be sent to you. So, just go through it once and we'll start up the things from tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you for attending, everyone.